I'm delighted to bring you the February report of OM around the world. It's been a very exciting few weeks for me. Initially, I was at the Go conference in Mosbach, Germany. This is a conference we run twice a year, once in January and once in September, receiving workers, new workers from around the world for 10 days, 12 days of orientation and preparation. Very exciting to see where new workers are coming from as they join Operation Mobilization. Very exciting to hear and to meet workers coming from China, coming from Ecuador, coming from Georgia, coming from Argentina, Namibia, and many other parts of the world. It's definitely true that mission is no longer from the West to the rest. Mission is a global operation, coming from everywhere, going to everywhere in the name of Jesus. I then moved on with my wife Wynne to Moldova. I was there for our team retreat for the Moldovan and Romanian teams, and we had an excellent time together. But it was also very impressive to see different aspects of OM's work in Moldova. We're increasingly seeing Moldova as a mission-sending country. And we want to see this develop even more in the months and years ahead. Already, missionaries from Moldova are serving with OM in Central Asia, in North Africa, and in the Middle East. I was able to visit a village within half an hour's drive of the capital and see real poverty. Moldova is the poorest country in Europe. There we're ministering to the elderly, for example, taking wood through the winter months to 400 elderly people. We also have play and activity centres based in local churches, and I think over 20 centres now in Moldova. Children come after school into a warm building. Very often they don't have the money to heat their homes, so they come to a warm church building, they get a hot meal, and then we help them do their schoolwork. We get involved in craft activity with them, and we're able to share the good news of Jesus. There were 25 children in the centre that Wynne and I visited. Very encouraging to see that work. We're also getting involved in micro-enterprise, in business as mission, and in church planting in different parts of Moldova. There's a huge short-term ministry as well. Hundreds of young people go on teams to Moldova with OM every year. A very, very encouraging ministry. I commend it to you for your prayers, and if you'd like to get specific prayer information on our ministry in Moldova, just email me, peter.maiden@om.org, and I'll put you in touch with our Moldovan field. In just a couple of weeks' time, we'll be all together in Bangkok, about 330 OM leaders from around the world for our annual international leaders meetings. We really do request your prayers for this very important time. We've one or two really difficult issues to deal with during our ILM meetings, so I would specifically and particularly ask for your prayers for this occasion. If you can be praying for us the last week of February, that would be superb. Many of you, I'm sure, are praying for Syria at this time. It seems there's some terrible suffering in that country, and we really need to be praying for an end to this carnage. But I want to assure you the work of God is going on in Syria in the midst of these difficulties. The team there recently showed the film Damascus, which is a story of the life of Paul in a technical college, and they welcomed 200 young people to watch that film. The technical college staff handed them the keys and left the team with the 200 students. This allowed the group great freedom. Most visitors took a New Testament after the film, and many stayed to ask questions about the gospel. In that particular area of Syria, there are no known Christians, but many in this time of suffering are looking for answers. I'm sure that should encourage us to pray for the whole of North Africa and the Middle East during the Arab Spring. I think it is causing many people to ask deep questions of life, and we want to be there along with the Church of Jesus Christ with the answers. After 5 days of very strenuous hiking to reach the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, the Freedom climbers made the trek downwards and arrived safely on the 16th of January back at the start of their climb. 44 climbers reached Gilman's Point, that's 5,683 meters. 28 summited Uhuru, which is 5,893 meters. They trekked through the dark early hours of the 15th of January. They did this to gain recognition for work amongst children and women around the world, particularly child slavery, the abuse of women. These issues were highlighted by the Freedom Climb. They were also raising money for ministries amongst women and children. So we want to thank you for your prayers for this effort. It did get some really good publicity, and we're praying that this publicity will highlight some of these issues of injustice around the world, and that the money raised will be used wisely for the glory of God. So I want to thank you once again for your prayers for 6,100 workers from over 100 countries working in 110 countries around the world. Thanks for your prayers, and I look forward to speaking to you again in March.